When multiple parties claim an equitable interest in something, those interests will be ordered in priority. One interest will stand above another. If I take out a mortgage against land, then later I take out a second mortgage, both mortgagees have an equitable interest in my land. Generally, the first in time takes priority, but sometimes the interests of the first in time party can be postponed. Mr. and Mrs. Breskvar owned land at Acacia Ridge, southwest of Brisbane. They borrowed $1,200 from Walter Wall, using the land as security. The unusual method they adopted was the execution of a transfer of the land to Wall for $1,200, leaving blank the name of the transferee. The idea was that if they breached the loan agreement, Wall could insert his own name and register the transfer. This method unlawfully avoided stamp duty on the mortgage. Wall, it seems, was a bit dodgy. There was no breach of the loan agreement, but he filled in the name of his grandson, George Petrie, and registered the transfer. Suddenly, Petrie owned the land. He then sold it to Alban Proprietary Limited, who paid money and obtained a transfer. Albans had no idea there was anything unusual. They were a bona fide purchaser for value without notice of any other interests. Meanwhile, the Breskvars worked out what was going on and registered a caveat to stop Alban's transfer from being registered. So we have two innocent parties, the Breskvars and Albans, both of whom claim to be the owners of the land. Whose equity should prevail? Well, the Breskvars were first in time, so the real question is whether their interest should be postponed. The court said yes. The reason for this was that the Breskvars had contributed to their own downfall. Chief Justice Barwick said, "Here the appellants armed the second respondent with the means of placing himself or his nominee on the register. They executed a memorandum of transfer without inserting therein the name of a purchaser, and they authorised the second respondent, if occasion arose for the exercise of his powers as a mortgagee, to complete and register the memorandum of transfer. The appellants therefore lose the priority to which the prior creation of their interest in the land would otherwise have entitled them." This case demonstrates that a party may have their equitable interest postponed if their conduct has contributed to the dispute.